watching WDSU News Channel 6 on your side.
It is really the first piece of a much larger plan to reinvigorate and restore the city's connection with its river.
From Project Economy tonight, after more than a dozen public meetings and a lot of planning, plans for redeveloping the riverfront are in the final phase right now. In fact, members of the development team are in New Orleans right now putting the final details on the project called Reinventing the Crescent. The first phase of construction spans from the Mandeville Wharf to Poland Avenue, and it's expected to start later this year. My story is all new tonight at 10. There have been countless meetings with the team, several open public forums, and special detail given to every aspect of the project. They call it world-class and unique.
A project of this magnitude hasn't been seen by residents of New Orleans in decades.
The first phase of Reinventing the Crescent is called Downriver Park. It carries a price tag of $30 million.
We'll begin work on streets in September and then full-blown construction with the whole project in December.
Designer Michael Malton explains how they'll use 60,000 square feet of the historic Mandeville Wharf shed and deck. You'll also see what they call an urban beach featuring basketball, a playground, a water cannon, and a space designed for special events. Malton insists the creation will symbolize
history and vitality of the city, but also where its future could actually be, a destination for the city, a destination for people coming to New Orleans to really see what that spirit is about.
The first phase spans from the Mandeville Wharf to Poland Avenue. They say in the end, the project will give the riverfront an international flair with a unique building approach. It will impact economic growth, tourism, families, and
to serve as a magnet, as a quality of life magnet, to continue to attract the sort of creative entrepreneurs and artisans that are fueling the rebirth of New Orleans.
So again, plans here in the final phase for phase 1 of this project. The project is expected to start this fall and be completed by next year. Of course, we will keep you posted on the progress there. Norman?
All right, Camille.
Live from WDUE TV New Orleans. This is your weather authority. Fox 8 News at 9.
Construction begins this fall on phase 1 of a riverfront project that in 2 years of planning has drawn both excitement and controversy.
Dozens of residents from the Bywater and the Marigny packed a room at NOCA tonight to see the final design plans of Reinventing the Crescent. The project will open up a 1.5 mile section of the riverfront between the Mandeville Wharf and Maisant Street, twice the size of Waldenburg Park. The design calls for a music and performance area at the Piety Street Wharf, a sports area, and a dog walk around the French Market. CEO of the New Orleans Building Corporation, Sean Cummings, says visitors will be blown away.
And this one will stand out. This will be a big thing for New Orleans to sort of proudly step back on an international stage and say this is the sort of stuff we're capable of.
Oh, I think it's fabulous. I mean, I think it's the best project this city's seen for decades. And hopefully when they see what phase 1 of this project is, it'll whet people's appetite.
Some residents are still skeptical about the plan's potential impact. Some had concerns from the beginning about parking in the neighborhoods and potential crime problems. Nora Marsh lives in the Marigny and worries the next phase could bring high-rises to the quaint community.
They talk about beautiful park, but it could turn into massive development. Buses coming from the dock that they're planning. The first phase is just the introduction, soften you up for the kill.
Cummings says he's already begun raising money for the next phase of the project. Construction on phase 1 begins in September. The $30 million project is funded through the LRA. It's slated to take about 18 months to complete.
Tonight, we are one step closer to some proposed big changes for downtown New Orleans. The design phase is near completion for what's known as Reinventing the Crescent. Glenn Boyd is live on the river now with more on this project. Glenn.
That's right, Liz, right near the Crescent. And I tell you what, the view from here is just breathtaking. And I know folks who probably have lived there most of their lives have not seen this particular view. And, you know, that's going to all change in less than about 18 months or so. This fence will come down and there will be open access to the river here. A look back at the city skyline from the old Mandeville Street Wharf. For decades, most of this property along the river has been off limits to neighbors. Just over a mile of riverfront property connecting the Bywater and Marigny communities.
And there are two bookends connected by green space, bike path, and landscape.
The old Mandeville Wharf will be turned into a pavilion, an amphitheater, so to speak, and at Piety, another pavilion.
And there's a kind of beautiful wharf, which is called Piety Wharf, and they brought me in to look at making a contemplative space, a space of reflection, a space that inspires a kind of a moment to kind of, bring people under a different kind of mood.
Small pavilion there, sanctuary of sorts, available for private reflection on the riverfront, or maybe even a destination wedding.
Planners predict this project will be a major resurgence in the city, with the riverfront being a catalyst for economic growth.
It's going to boost the quality of life here, as it has in so many other cities when they redo the riverfront. And so what we're really sure of is that it just flat out bumps up the quality of life by being able to get out here, to picnic, to hang out, to push a stroller with your kid, or just go for a walk.
Sean Cummings says this $30 million project should be complete sometimes in 2011, just in time for the 2013 Super Bowl. In fact, Cummings says the NFL has already leased this space, which will be the new pavilion here.
The big draw, however, will be being at the water's edge with this spectacular view of the city.
There's a special relationship that human beings have to water and to this riverfront in particular, and we just want to be able to provide that access and some cool stuff to do once you're out here.
Yeah, it is quite nice out here on the water's edge. Now, international as well as local designers and architects are working on this particular project. Sean Cummings predicts that construction will be at full speed here sometime in December. Also, by the way, tonight at NOCA, I believe starting around 6:30, there's going to be a meeting there with the planners on this particular design of the new riverfront here, 1.4 miles of it. So locals will have a chance to get some input and see exactly what those designs or final plans will look like. Liz?
Interesting to hear what folks have to say on that huge project. Thanks a lot, Glenn. The new riverfront project also comes as good news for local businesses. At local icon Cafe Du Monde, the vice president says he's been following this project over the past few years, and he's eager to see it come to fruition because it will benefit locals and visitors alike.
I think the redevelopment will benefit everybody. It'll benefit the residents because they'll have one more venue in which to entertain themselves, an amenity. It'll be a powerful amenity to the city of New Orleans, and it'll also benefit the tourists. It'll give them something else to do.
Well, tonight at 6:30, how the river rebuilding project could help French Quarter business owners.